Chap tales. Don't you wanna hear some chap tales? Hello and welcome to another Chap Tales. How you doing? You're good, yeah? Okay, so this month's episode is gonna be about my pal Des Jones. Yeah, top fella Des. There's actually quite a few little stories around this event, but we'll stick to this one and then maybe in the future I'll tell more. Okay, so there was this festival put together called Broadstock by my at the time's guitarist's mate, and so we all decided to travel down to Hastings or just by Hastings, a place called Battle, and basically take part in this. It was the band was the Tally, and we were taking part in this festival, and then on the day that it was like the last day where things were sort of being packed away and like there was a few acoustic things going on and stuff like that. Anyway, we woke up like, 'cause we're all in tents and that. We all got up pretty early, like sort of, I don't know, 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And when we got out of the tent, it was mad because we'd been drinking all night. Like we was in need of water big time. Like, so everyone was searching for water and there just weren't none to be found. There was a house on the site, but they weren't opening no doors at 7 o'clock in the morning. So someone said, "Oh, there's a petrol station just down the road. Like, I'm sure they open at about 8. Like, and by now, I suppose it was like 7:20. He sort of said, by the time you get there, it'll be open. You get yourself whatever you need, whatever, and then get back." And we was like, "Yeah, sweet, all right." So about, I don't know, I think there was about 8 of us actually decided to take this trek. So we left the campsite, and then there's like this sort of country lane that leads to the campsite from like, well, a slightly larger road. So anyway, so we've gone to the end of the campsite, we've chucked a right and we started walking up this little road that seemed really short when we was driving in the old minibus when we was driving into the festival, but when you're walking it, it's totally different. So anyway, I'm walking along chatting to Des, and I can't even remember who else was with us, but all I know is that all of us was thirsty. So anyway, after about 20 minutes, we get to the top of the road where this slightly larger road is, and we're like, all right, not so bad. So we chuck a left. But what we didn't realise was, if it took us 20 minutes to walk up that lane, when we got up to that bigger road, obviously the vehicle was like moving at 50, 60 miles an hour, you know what I mean? So you're covering a lot of ground in a short period. So when you're walking, we started walking towards where we knew this petrol station was, and I'm not even joking, it took us about an hour, I'd say. So in all, it's like an hour and 20 minutes to walk to this petrol station, and it was horrible. And it was like you walk half hour down the lane, and then you think to yourself, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going back. But then you think to yourself, you've nearly made it now. You might as well do the bit extra, you know what I mean? So anyway, we carried on walking, all of us, and we arrived at this petrol station. Everyone running, everyone's like getting bacon sandwiches, litres of water, litres of orange juice. And then like we're all coming out with big grins on our faces, and you know what I mean? There's no way we're going to do that walk without tucking into what we just bought. So there was like a massive patch of grass just to the right of the petrol station. So we're just all sitting there like a big picnic. Like, and anyway, Desi's, he ain't come out of the old petrol station yet. So anyway, we're all sitting there like we're having our grub and our drink and that. And we're looking round at each other and we're like, "Where's Des?" And I was like, "I don't know, he's in there somewhere. I don't know what he's doing. He'll be out in a minute." Anyway, the old electric doors slid open and there standing Desi with a crate of cider on his shoulder. It was like dun dun dun. So he's bowled over to us and like parked himself right next to me, and he slapped this crate of Stella down. I mean, sorry, not Stella, cider, Strongbow, I think. He slapped it down, boom, in the middle of us. Everyone straight away is just all looking at Des again. No, Des, no, I'm not getting involved in that. No way. Not after the hangover I'm trying to get rid of now. There's no way. Des is giving it the old air of the dog and all that. But even me, myself, I was like, no, Des, sorry, mate. I just can't. I can't do it, mate. Do you know what I mean? I just can't do it. Anyway, so we sat there, finished off our water, orange juice, food, whatever. And in that little space, like, I think this crate had like 18 cans of Strongbow in it, and they ain't the silly 330ml cans, it's the big cans, you know what I mean? And anyway, Desi's done 2 of them before we even get up to start walking back. And I was like, oh God, Des. So anyway, we're walking back. Desi's got a crate of cider on his shoulder and a can of cider in his other hand, and he's just walking along, drinking the cider, and I was just like, fuck. Anyway, so we do this hour and 20-minute walk, and by the time we're walking back into the campsite, I think Desi's like gone through 8 cans of cider already. And like, so we walked in, walking, and there's like people that are clearing up and doing stuff and watching little acoustic acts or whatever. And they're all looking at Desi thinking, you're nuts. Do you know what I mean? Because they all saw Des the day before, like whacking out the old local cider that they had there. Like, that was quite nice, actually. The old local cider and the local cheesecakes. Here we go. Anyway, so we've walked back down to where our tents are, and anyway, Desi's parked himself on the floor and just carried on drinking. Like, so anyway, we're there. Like, my missus was there, everyone was there, like Cookie, everyone was just, so we're all chatting away, like, and that, and just like having a nice rest before like we start driving home 2:00 or something or whatever. So we packed our tents up and that, and we just still got all our gear in a big circle, and we're just all sitting there like chatting away and all that, like. And then someone just out of the blue, someone's like, where did Des go? And I was like, he's sitting there. I looked round and there weren't no Des, and I was like, oh, I don't know. But like, Cookie is Desi's nephew, so Cook's a bit like, well, he was drinking quite a bit, weren't he? Like, and I was like, yeah. And he's like, let's have a look for him, I think. Like, so we're all sort of like spread out across this little festival, like looking for Des, like, and there was only a few tents still standing, do you know what I mean? But it was funny because after about half hour of looking for him, like me and Cook were standing there, and then we're looking over at these group of tents that still ain't been packed away. I suppose the people weren't even hadn't even woke up, like they're just all proper hungover, like. But in the middle of all these tents, there's like an Indian teepee, you know, cowboys and Indians, you know what I mean? Like, and seriously, it was just like funny, a big white teepee, massive it was as well. So anyway, so a few of us have like had a little stroll over to where these tents are and that, and we're having a look random and that, and then it's like there's like a gap to get into the teepee, like, and someone said, I'm gonna have a look in there. And then they've walked into the teepee and we're all outside, but then all you can hear is, Des, what are you doing? And we're like, we all flew in the teepee, like, and there's that there was like, I don't know, there's like travelers or something, like, just thought, yeah, we'll just plot up in this festival and sleep here for 3 days. And but yeah, so Des is sitting in this teepee, like just I don't know, telling stories or something. But I looked at the crate, and there was only 3 cans of cider left in this crate, so that's 3 left out of 18, and I'm telling you, they weren't small cans. But Des was like, he could handle his drink. I'll give Des that. I'll tell you what, I would have been off my. I wouldn't have even got that far. Do you know what I mean? I probably would have drunk 6 cans and fell asleep. But yeah, it was funny, like, because we was all a bit worried about him, and then it was quite like comical to find him in the teepee, like sitting there like with followers all around him or whatever. It's like bloody C3PO and the Ewoks. No, yeah, but, that was funny. So anyway, we went over to Des. Like, we're like, Des, come on, man, we're going soon. Come on, let's go and make sure we've got all our gear and all. So he's left the tent, and everyone's sort of like cheering or whatever. And yeah, so we got him back over to the others, and the others like, yeah, what happened to him? Where was he? And we're like, we found him in a teepee, and then they're all just looking at us like, all right, you found him in a teepee. Yeah, but yeah, I thought that was one of a few little stories from around that festival that I can tell. Yeah, so that was the story of Des Jones, Cider, and the TP. You love it. All right, sweet. Thanks for listening. Speak to you soon. Yeah, sorry. One thing I forgot to mention that I thought I've got to tell you. It was when we got back to the campsite after all that walk and everything, yeah, when we got over to our tents, my missus was sitting there and she had a nice big glass of orange juice and a nice sausage sandwich. And she said, oh yeah, just after you left, they came round asking what everyone wanted. And then this is what I chose and this is what I got. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Oh well, nice one. CHAP tales. Don't you wanna hear some CHAP tales?